Confirmation of a tornado on the ground. That is the debris field, if there is one. Currently, this we call it the correlation coefficient debris detector, not showing any signs, Albert, of an imminent tornado. I'm curious what you're seeing on your system, though, in terms of the BTI, how much rotation we're seeing with this storm.
Well, it's picked up just in the last couple of minutes, and I think you said it. Carpentersville, West Dundee, Sleepy Hollow. It's these communities that you need to get into your safe spot right now. And when we say safe spot, it's going to be lowest level of your home. If you live in a two-story home, it's first floor. And also, if you have a basement, that's going to be the best place you want to be. But you want to get to a safe place right now. Let's go back to my weather computer if we can, and we'll show you this. But rotation is increasing as we speak. West Dundee to places like Carpentersville. There you see on David's computer the hail also coming up. This warning also coming in with the potential for 2-inch diameter hail. That's larger than golf balls with this particular thunderstorm. So we'll go to velocity and we'll take a look at some of our products here, and we'll zoom in once again. And anytime the radar computer starts to show us a cylinder, this is the radar saying, hey, we've got radar confirmed rotation above us and also at the surface. So it's focused in right over West Dundee. We'll turn on our shear product here, and there you go. What we see here is these maroon colors showing us an uptick in the rotation that's ongoing. So let's show you again who's included in this. It's a small, compact area of a tornado warning, but it's going to be Carpentersville to West Dundee to near Elgin. And anytime we start to see this shear product show a little bit of a snake signature right there, a little bit of an S, that is some tight rotation beginning to add on up, not just at the surface, but again, just above our heads. And that's exactly what we have going on. So we'll zoom in and we'll show you a few communities here. And let me get rid of some of these cylinders. That way we can clean this up just a little bit. And we'll turn those back on in just a moment. So we'll go back to our shear rate product, which does an impressive job this time of year to show us exactly where we have the maximum amount of rotation. So here's a look at I-90, and this is a look at Highway 31. So around I-90 and 31, and also at the intersection of North Liberty Street. This is where we have rotation that is increasing right now with this possible tornado. We have our storm chaser out and about. We've got also, of course, law enforcement tied in with the Weather Service. No one has eyes on this. That's the good news. That being said, there's enough evidence in the Doppler radar that a tornado could be developing now, if not developing soon. So again, the tornado warning does include West Dundee, East Main Street and Higgins Road back here towards the east of West Dundee. Does include portions of I-90 at the intersection of Sutton Road and I-90, and also includes, again, Higgins Road in this portion of Cook County. South Barrington, you are not included in this polygon warning just yet that you see lighting up. But we'll go back to our velocity scan, and there you see the area of rotation. I'm going to loop this just from the last 15 minutes because it looks like maybe we had a quick spin up that allowed the Weather Service to issue this warning. And we'll go back and we'll take a look at one of our other products here. We'll take a look at our shear rate product over the last 15 minutes. And you see how it's just been kind of winding up, and this area of wind is really starting to increase as well. David Yeoman's in the Weather Center. He's got eyes on the Weather Service connection that we have. Anything new from them?
Yeah, and if you guys can punch me up, we've also got a storm track over here. Nothing new from the Weather Service besides what they said a few minutes ago to us. Rotation increased enough briefly for the tornado warning in far northeast Kane and northwest Cook County, but they are seeing what we're seeing too, Albert, which is that this line that we've been tracking for an hour now is overtaking that. We call this a discrete storm. These tend to rotate more. I've got a little echo, guys. These tend to rotate more out ahead of a main line. Once the main line overtakes it, though, it can cut off that thunderstorm inflow and stop the rotation. So hopefully this tornado warning could be canceled early. If it's not, though, everybody in its path needs to take shelter now. 6:24, arrival of this potential tornado in Sears Center, 6:25 in Sutton, 6:29 at Stillman Nature Center. If you're near Olmsted Park, 6:37, there could be a tornado on your doorstep. And as we get farther down the line here, if this holds together at 6:53, it'll be in Rolling Meadows. So again, a potential tornado with this northwest side of Chicago. This whole line is drifting toward Chicago, but the individual tornado-warned storm, Albert, moving directly eastward at 20 miles an hour.
So Schaumburg, let's watch this really closely. Even places like O'Hare over the next 30 minutes, let's watch this closely. As you saw, David's storm track as this moves off towards the east, maybe a little bit more to the east-southeast at around 20 miles per hour. We'll go back to live mode here on our Doppler radar, and on top of the tornado threat, which continues over West Dundee right now. You see the hook signature. We have a hail core developing in the last radar scan near Carpentersville and just to the north. This storm, according to the radar about 15 minutes ago, was pinging off at hailstones golf ball, if not the size of large hen eggs, 2-inch diameter hail. And that's what this official warning has ongoing as well. We'll see what the radar computer says on this one. And there's anywhere from quarters and at times some golf balls embedded in this particular thunderstorm. So we'll do a reset here at 6:17. We'll show you the wide perspective. And this may be the first of many warnings that we see tonight. Not necessarily additional tornado warnings, but certainly severe thunderstorm warnings. This is the first line that's coming in to the north and northwestern suburbs, approaching Chicago as we get closer to the top of the hour. There's an additional line of thunderstorms that we'll watch for mid to late evening from Madison stretching down towards the south. And that one will keep thunderstorm chances, potentially severe thunderstorm chances in the forecast through at least 11 o'clock. So let's work this line once again. And the reason why we're dominating the 6 o'clock newscast is we have a tornado warning that remains in effect for the extreme northeastern sections of Kane County, extreme northwestern sections of Cook County. We named some of those communities for you, West Dundee and Carpentersville for sure, with this thunderstorm sliding like so off towards the east-southeast at around 20 miles per hour. If you're in Schaumburg and Arlington Heights, Des Plaines, the O'Hare area, you're not under the warning. That being said, this storm is headed your direction, so start thinking ahead. Is the closet cleaned out? Is the basement all good to go? Where are we going to go if another tornado warning is issued? That's certainly going to be possible as this thunderstorm continues to show the signature right in here of this little notching, this hooking that's going on right now. So we'll go back to our velocity scan. This shows us the Doppler winds. And if there's at least some good news, I don't see super tight rotation on that last scan.
Yep.
And we'll go to our shear product, David. It's still showing some bright colors here, but this be more indicative of straight line winds than actual rotating winds. Go ahead.
The National Weather Service seeing exactly what you are. National Weather Service partners saying the tornado threat may be diminishing in the tornado warned area, transitioning to more of a straight line wind threat, but there is still some rotation on radar. They're also watching a hail producer in northwest DeKalb County. That one not rotating much at this point.
Well, let's take a look at that one, DeKalb County, because it at least is showing a little bit of a hook signature. There's the hail core. Let me get your bearing straight. We'll zoom in once again. There's the city of DeKalb. So we're in extreme western, northwestern sections of DeKalb County. There's Kirkland, there's Genoa. Hail core here, at least quarters, if not the size of $half size hail with this particular thunderstorm. This one also tracking almost due east, it looks like. And there's that little bit of a hook signature, so it's worth just getting some eyes on it.
An egg-size hail there, egg-size hail.
Yeah. Okay, so 2-inch diameter hail with that particular thunderstorm. Will turn on shear rate and nothing that's screaming tornado for that one. So we'll come back to where the active tornado warning is right now, and we'll name a few more communities here with this one. So let's go back into the live mode. And again, what's so helpful with days like today is this shear product, because it kind of gets rid of all the messiness that we see on velocity, and it shows us where are the most intense winds, either winds blowing outward that are super strong or rotating winds. And it's still from West Dundee and down towards Elgin. But I will say the Elgin area, yeah, I mean, we got a little rotation there. Let's see what this looks like on this side. I think this is all straight line winds, David, here from West Dundee down towards the south. If there's any kind of rotation, it hasn't moved much. Still over the same areas that we've been talking about right in here, kind of from West Dundee, maybe down towards the south. So we're talking about Elgin Avenue around River Fox Bluff, Ringles River Gardens. If any of these communities sound familiar, this is still where we have that info notch. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we've got a storm track on the whole line as this entire line sinks southeastward.
Damaging wind on I-90 right now, north of Elgin.
Oh yeah, bright green there in the wake. You said it, the rotating part of the storm has not moved much. It's kind of hanging up on that main line. On Weather 1, we can see that this storm is still on the northwest side of Chicago. There's the short-lived, hopefully, tornado warning, northeastern Kane, far northwestern Cook County, even northwest of Schaumburg itself. But that rotating part of the storm is kind of hanging that back part up. In the meantime, the whole line itself is sinking southeastward. So a lot more of us in the path, even if this tornadic circulation is hopefully on the downtrend. That includes places like O'Hare. Flights will be heavily impacted by this line. 644, another line coming a couple hours from now. That'll also mess up more flights. Jefferson Park, strong to severe storms on your doorstep at 6:53. Logan Square at 7:06. And a pretty consistent suggestion, we've been saying this for a couple hours now, downtown Chicago between 7 and 7:15 is when we too will likely get hit by this storm. In the meantime, our main focus continues to be right there on the northwest side of town. Let's freeze the radar, check in on the latest on the storm relative velocity. This gives us a good view of the wind field in the storms. And if we zoom in just a bit here west of Schaumburg, the tornado warning continues. So wise to continue to be in your tornado safe place in places like Elgin, West Dundee, and areas just east of there and east of I-90. But we've seen this rotation broaden out just a bit. If we put this on the little hour loop here, you can see that it was a little tighter, kind of a couplet, what we call, right there over West Dundee, bright red next to bright green just briefly, but now as it's kind of wrapping behind itself, it's losing a little bit of that inflow from the south wind, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this tornado warning canceled hopefully long before its set expiration, which is currently set at 6:45. That would continue for 23 more minutes. Be surprised to see that actually happen. Zooming out just a bit more, let's check out for any signs of additional rotation on the southern part of this line, just south of that area. We are not seeing any of that. What we are seeing, though, even if you are in the outside of the tornado warned part of this storm, we're seeing lots of damaging winds that are likely on your doorstep in St. Charles. New severe thunderstorm warning, including St. Charles and much of DuPage County, it looks like, for damaging wind gusts. Albert.
So just communicating with Chris Hoppermill, we're going to turn around some video, just sent it to John, the producer.
Oh, great.
Of the lowering and also the wall cloud that was rotating, but didn't look like there was a funnel cloud or anything touching the ground.
Okay.
And that video is from Carpentersville, so we'll get that turned around for you in just a second.
Great.
Chris Hoppermill sending us that in just the last couple of seconds. Back to what's going on with this warning. Here you see flashing in red. That is that tornado warning that remains in effect. It looks like the tornado threat is diminishing. That's good news. As soon as the warning's canceled, we'll get back to Eric and Joe and get back to the newscast. But I do want to get your attention on this. Right along I-90, this is where we have a burst of wind that could be 60+ miles per hour. Very highly traveled road here. So that's a look at I-90. This is the I-90 in the intersection of State Route 25. And you notice some other roads there. This is where we have a hail core developing. And we'll go back to velocity scan. And this is where we have this area right in here, some really intense winds. And what we can do is we can sample some of these pixels, and I bet you this is over 60 miles per hour. So a 65 mile per hour wind gust just a couple of miles to the north of Elgin, and this is racing off towards the east like so. So if there's good news, a tornado threat is going down. If there's bad news, thunderstorms like this, they'll rotate and then they'll exhale tons of air rushing out ahead of it. And that's exactly what's happening right now. So let me zoom in and I'll show you a few areas that we're watching right now with these intense winds. There's a look at Jefferson Avenue. Cross street here is going to be Hiawatha Drive. There's a look at Gonia Avenue, Arrowhead Drive, all these communities that are dealing with some really intense winds. And we can actually show you where this is headed with these thunderstorms. This looks like it's about to become a straight line wind type of situation headed here towards Streamwood over the next few minutes. So inflow notch here, area of rotation still we're watching here. This big thunderstorm around Elgin and to the south of Elgin, capable of producing some really intense winds, 60 to maybe even 65 miles per hour. So places like Streamwood and Bartlett, you're in line for this straight line wind damage. Roselle and Schaumburg, Itasca, Bloomingdale, that's all headed your direction. And as David was showing you, this is a storm, will eventually make its way into Chicago. So just a heads up, anytime we're dealing with storms like this, 60, 65, and it's on the table, we could get some gusts as high as 70 miles per hour tonight. Let's plug in our phone because we're going to have some power outages, it looks like, at least over parts of the area as round one of thunderstorms comes on in. So at 6:25, let's do a reset here and we'll show you what else is going on. From Chicago southward, there's a few hit-miss showers, but there's no big deal. The main game in town right now is stretched from northern areas of Cook County, northern sections of Kane County into DeKalb County. All of this is severe, wind gusts 60+ miles per hour and a large hail threat. There's still that active tornado warning. It does include northeastern Kane, northwestern Cook County, but the rotation is starting to line up on that one. That's certainly good news. And then here is round two that's developing here on the Illinois and Wisconsin state line, back off towards the east of Dubuque to the south of Madison. That will eventually turn into a new line of intense thunderstorms that could certainly be severe and impact our area 8, 9, 10 through about 11 o'clock. So we'll zoom back in here and we'll show you what's going on. And let's just break this down county by county. There's no severe weather right now ongoing in Lake County from Waukegan to Vernon Hills to Buffalo Grove. It's showers and rumbles of thunder. Winnetka, Wilmette, Evanston, you're A-OK, but we're watching these severe storms headed your direction as we head towards about the next 20 to 30 minutes. We're thinking 6:45. That's going to be kind of the give or take 10 minutes for the North Shore, and then shortly after that for Chicago. Here's a look at the active warnings, though. This continues to grab our attention. This area spin, this bit of a hook that we have in the atmosphere, back to shear rate. It's messy. There's the new update right there. Right? David kind of went like that. I did too. Yeah, it started to maybe tighten up once again near Streamwood. So if you are in Streamwood to South Barrington, we still have an active area of spin in the atmosphere. And we'll see here over the next couple of minutes what the Weather Service decides to do with this warning. They have it in effect until 6:45, but the area of spin is about to be out of that polygon in the next couple of minutes. So we'll watch that for you. We'll go back to radar here. It is a lot of rain. And on the southern fringe, here's the rotation. On the southern fringe of the rotation, this is where we have some intense winds. At times, the radar sampling 60 to 65 miles per hour, moving out of Elgin, headed towards Highway 59. Bartlett, get ready. You've got some wind gusts at least 60 miles per hour headed your direction. Again, Bloomingdale, Roselle, Schaumburg, you're all in line as well as that continues to slide off towards the east-southeast. So let's put this into motion, see if this is headed a little bit more due easterly or a little bit more down to the south. And it looks southeast. I think that's right on, David, with your storm track there. And I can do a storm track on mine. It'll give us kind of a early heads up of what's headed over the next couple of minutes. So we'll put this back into live mode and then I'll hand it over to you. So we still have this moving around 35 miles per hour, David?
That's right.
All right, let's do that. I may need to get a little bit more real estate here. Can he do it?
Oh, he's flexible.
Let me zoom out and we'll do this correctly and we'll get you some communities on here. So again, big line of thunderstorms, main concern, large hail, damaging winds, quick spin up tornado, moving like so, 35 miles per hour. Let's do it. And here we go. Hanover Park coming up at 6:30. Hoffman Estates at 6:33. Schaumburg at 6:33. If you're in Roselle, a damaging wind and hail threat at 6:36. Bloomingdale at 6:40. Itasca at 6:42. Elk Grove Village coming up at 6:43. Wooddale at around 6:45. Addison at 6:49. O'Hare at 6:49. Rosemont at 6:51. Des Plaines at 6:51. And Carroll Stream at 6:52 as those thunderstorms spread off towards the east-southeast at 35 miles per hour. We're hopeful here in the next couple of minutes the Weather Service is going to allow this tornado warning to expire. That would be something that I think is going to happen as the rotation has really decreased with this system. And David, I'm going to let you take it. I'm going to reset my computer here, but before you take it, there's a look at the, oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I got you. I was actually just going to expand your field of view. Yeah.
Great.
This will list a few more towns for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So,
of course, let me get you back on.
So here's a look at kind of a little bit better track on this. It's going to take us into the 7 o'clock hours. We're saying as we get closer to 7 p.m., it's going to be moving to Chicago, and right on the money, Logan Square at about 7:08. So let's say Wicker Park around 7:10, 7:11. Lincoln Square at 7:09. Palmer Square at 7:09. Move this all over here on this side. We'll make our way into Palmer Square at 7:09. 7:10 out around Bucktown. Lakeview at 7:12, along with Ukrainian Village and West Garfield Park. DePaul, the University campus at 7:12, and Wrigley at 7:12. So again, it's these communities here. David gave us a nice long track. Damaging wind, large hail threat. Can't rule out a spin-up tornado. It's going to be there, and that's what we're watching right now. So recapping at 6:30, and the reason why we're interrupting programming here, Entertainment Tonight, is we continue to watch a tornado warning that's in effect. This is going to include mainly now the extreme northwestern sections of Cook County. The tornado threat has ended, at least at the moment, in Kane County. And what we're looking at is an area of spin right in here. It's kind of on the fringe of this polygon near Streamwood. And what we've seen over the last several minutes is this area of spin come out of Kane County. It was actually in McHenry County about 30 minutes ago when we jumped on the live stream, moved into northern Kane County, and is now here in northwestern sections of Cook County. So from Streamwood to Bartlett, I'm not seeing anything super tight in rotation, but above our heads, kind of mid-levels of the atmosphere, it's still rotating. And what this signature is showing is we have a damaging wind threat that is ongoing right now. Bartlett to Streamwood, headed to Schaumburg, headed to Roselle, and you just showed you that timeline that took us to the 7 o'clock hour, around 7:09 in Logan Square, 7:11 in portions like Lincoln Square. This is a damaging wind threat that's headed your direction with 60 to 65 mile per hour winds. And yeah, some hail too. At times this thunderstorm, at least according to Doppler radar, was producing golf ball, if not larger size hail, so 1.75 to 2-inch diameter hail. It's down at the moment. Radar now detecting areas of quarter-size hail with this thunderstorm now here in the northwestern sections of Cook. Here's David.
And Kane has now been trimmed out of that tornado warning as you were following that circulation moving east of that area. This is the tiniest little tornado warning that's left there, Albert, just for a sliver of parts of northwestern Cook County. That's highlighted in the red there just north of Bartlett. I'm seeing what you're seeing, though. The rotation is totally broadened, exited the warning. Now this is a damaging wind threat.
So damaging wind threat. Can we see another quick spin of tornado? Absolutely. The atmosphere is already proving itself that it looks like they maybe, no, it's still there. It's just so blending in with all the red. The atmosphere has already proved that there is enough spin in the atmosphere to prompt tornado warnings. And we mentioned that Chris Habermill has a video that will hopefully turn around soon, and it was a pretty hefty wall cloud, kind of a lowering as it was moving through Carpentersville, and it was rotating. It was kind of a slow rotation, not super rapid, but that was enough for the Weather Service to put out this tornado warning. So super small tornado warning. Who is included still in this tornado warning? And it's going to be the I-90 corridor with the intersection of Sutton Road. So I-90 Sutton Road. Here's a look at Bartlett Road. This is where we have mainly heavy rain, pockets of hail. We'll turn on our velocity. There's some gusty winds, especially right in here. Anywhere you see these areas of turquoise, this is 60 to 65 mile-per-hour wind gusts. But this looks to be all straight line wind. I don't see any evidence of rotating winds, at least at the moment. So Weather Service, our friend Rick Castro says they're keeping an eye on the rotation northwestern suburbs for the severe storm, and they are
may issue a downstream warning.
Interesting. Okay.
Tornado warning, possibly.
All right. So let's watch it the next couple of minutes. That may keep us here on TV and interrupting most of entertainment tonight if that does happen. So we'll stay with you. David's in the Weather Center, and David, this is round 1 of 2 in the forecast tonight, and you were looking at some of the data that round 2, you know, for at least parts of the year, it could even be stronger than what we're dealing right now.
Yeah, it could. And as we continue to watch that rotation here on Weather 1 and the damaging wind threat surging south of Bartlett, this is another area to watch, not necessarily for a tornado, but a big wind surge entering DuPage County. This is going to be a damaging wind event, no doubt, in that area. We're still watching the rotation and the potential that this warning, this tornado warning, may be extended slightly downstream. What Albert was just referring to, though, is actually happening a little bit later on this evening. Let's switch over to your latest. We'll switch you on the home view here. Latest high-resolution model. This is the best model that we have. It's updated every single hour, and it often is the best during tornadic situations like this. And notice, Albert was just saying, here's the round 1 right now, moving in Chicago, 7, 8 p.m. But round 2 is a separate line of storms that's currently up in Wisconsin. And let's watch that again together. Slow it down. Over the next couple hours, here's round 1. Round 2, though, plows into DeKalb and McHenry counties by 8, 9 p.m. And then we have more storms in Chicago coming later this evening. So these storms certainly unwelcome in our area. This comes after June 10th and June 11th brought widespread derecho winds to our area. More than 250,000 ComEd customers had power knocked out. Now we have a damaging wind threat moving into DuPage and Cook counties over the next couple of hours, and no doubt another line of possibly severe storms that are moving our way a little bit later on this evening. So again, that's the high-resolution future weather model projecting all this forward over the next 6 hours or so. Let's get back to what's happening right now. If you're just tuning in, we have a tornado warning, just a little baby one right there for far northwestern Cook County. City of Chicago is not included. DuPage County not included either. I know we do have some rain hammering down near Gary, parts of Kankakee County, and a severe storm out in LaSalle County. None of those are tornadic or rotating at this time. Here's the second line of storms starting to develop in Wisconsin. We'll get to those as we need to. The more immediate threat here, just northwest of the city. National Weather Service saying in the latest scans there appears to be a tendency for more of a wind threat over northwest Cook near Bartlett and Streamwood heading into DuPage County. That's exactly what we were just telling you a minute or two ago. Less of a tornado threat with this part of the severe storm, this most concerning part, and more of a damaging wind threat. What I'm seeing here, Albert, is the potential rotation here on the north side of it has weakened, has exited the tornado warned storm. Now this is 5 or 10 miles wide instead of being bright and tight, as we say, which often often indicates a tornado possibly on the ground. Not seeing that. What we are seeing is this surge of strong, damaging wind gusts moving toward Wayne and Bartlett. Some of these blue colors, as you were showing us, over 65-mile-an-hour winds likely reaching the ground right now.
You know, one thing I was just looking at as you were tracking them, the thunderstorms in DeKalb County, that new severe thunderstorm warning in LaSalle County, they all have the same signature. They're all hooking. And what that tells us is that we may have a few more tornado warnings to go. When they start, let me show you on the wide view here. They all have the same little signature. See, little hook here, little hook here, hook here, hook here. Doesn't mean we have widespread tornado warnings right now, but that tells us the atmosphere is rotating. And just because you have a rotating atmosphere doesn't mean you're automatically going to get tornado warnings, but it means you're going to get severe weather because it allows the updraft and downdraft of the thunderstorm to stay separated. It allows the storm to become more robust and stronger and produce heavy rainfall and hail and lightning and damaging winds. And yes, if the ingredients are just right, you can also get quick spin up tornadoes. So what we're going to do, we're going to blow out entertainment tonight because we're going to wait to see what the Weather Service does with this warning, but we may get additional warnings. So we're going to break down these new supercells that are developing right now. Let's start North Shore and then we'll work our way down to the south if you're watching us in LaSalle County. Non-severe, but it's gusty winds and also heavy rainfall. Southern sections of Lake County here in Illinois, northern sections of Cook County, and right now non-severe here along the North Shore, northern section of Cook County, but that's what's headed our way. This is why we're still in the air. Tornado warning remains in effect for a small section, small sliver of northwestern Cook County, but it looks like the tornado threat has even exited out of that. So Weather Service is going to give us an idea what they're going to do really soon. Gusty winds head into Bartlett and also Bloomingdale. If I zoom in here, I'm not seeing in the last scan anything in the 60, 65 mile per hour department. So that's good news. It looks like it's weakening, at least for the moment. We'll go back to Doppler radar over there. Heavy rainfall, there's certainly hail embedded in all of this activity. From Bartlett, head into Schaumburg, Roselle, get ready. Bloomingdale, get ready. Addison, Elk Grove, O'Hare. We're mentioning all those communities. That's where we have some big time wind and hail headed your direction, and we'll be watching for areas to spin. Heavy downpours here across north central areas of Kane County, but we'll turn on velocity here. And nothing really severe in this box. This may actually get erased pretty soon, and then we'll come into DeKalb County. Let's take a look at the radar here. See, we got a little hooky here. Want to watch this one because that's showing us an area, a spin, at least in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. If you're in DeKalb, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, some gusty winds, there's going to be some hail, probably quarters, if not a little bit smaller than quarters, heading to DeKalb in about 2 minutes. We'll turn on our velocity scan. Nothing showing up on velocity. We'll turn on our shear product. There's a little bit of spin, but no big deal. But again, a hook and it bears watching. Let's slide down to the south. We'll go to LaSalle County, just outside of our viewing area, around Dixon. All right, we got more storms headed our way. But let's go to LaSalle County first, and we'll look at those out towards the west. We'll zoom in here. Here's Ottawa. The rain picking up in the last couple of minutes. Hail core out here towards the west of you, just out towards the east of Peru. And again, another little hook signature there. Let's go to velocity. Maybe a little bit more areas of spin in the atmosphere. Yeah, shear products picking up. So a little area of spin that we'll watch. It's getting a little farther away from the radar site. And as the Earth is curved, the radar beam kind of goes up in height as it moves away from its site because of the Earth's curvature. So we're kind of probably scanning here at least 1,000 feet up in the air. So there's an area of spin. Either way, it's headed towards Ottawa, and let's watch it. Nothing strong, nothing crazy like we saw back on June 11th or back on March 10th, but we're watching it either way. And then we were talking about round two. And David, if your mic's still open, I don't remember models really hinting that we'd have severe stuff coming due west. So this is kind of tricking the model data. It was more kind of coming in out of Wisconsin than anything. And these also, they're little supercells. They're all, you know, at least at times probably spinning.
Yeah, just, you know, I hate to say just like June 11th because this will not be a tornado outbreak like that, but just like June 11th, the model struggled with these little supercells developing ahead of the main line.
I remember, yeah.
Nothing suggested there, and nothing suggested this here, so reason to stay sharp here over the next couple of hours. Meantime, that circulation back in Cook County is totally out of the tornado warned area, Albert, so we're waiting to hear from the National Weather Service whether they're going to cancel it or not. Yeah,
any second now we should be hearing from them. So here's a look at what we're thinking is going to be round two. Additional thunderstorms. These are approaching the Rockford area, and model data saying as these come in, these also could be severe, could also rotate, could also produce wind gusts 60 plus miles per hour. So I think it bears another storm track as these are now dominating Cook County. I don't know, David. I mean, look at the last scan on that. That thing's spinning still. I mean, you still have a really good hook signature here. You've got a hail core that's once again, what these storms will do sometimes, they'll pulse up in intensity and then they'll pulse down. And just in the last 5 minutes, it was pulsating down. We're headed into a pulse up cycle now. So let's go back to velocity.
Bartlett and Hanover Park are getting hammered. Just got a report of 3-inch tree limbs broken in Bartlett.
Well, there you go. Look at the velocity scan. That's exactly why. I bet you there's 63, 64 mile per hour wind gusts.
Pretty
and
good
there you
get.
go. Yeah. So that's what has just made its way towards Bartlett. This is sliding off towards the east-southeast, so it's going to be right along Highway 20. Bloomingdale, get ready. Roselle, get ready. We've been giving you the heads up for a while now, but we have a damaging wind event headed your direction that's coming on in right now. We'll go back to Doppler radar, and the hail core is picking up. We'll go back to hail, and our product here, which has done a really nice job today, showing the potential for golf ball size hail now increasing near Streamwood. So this remains a severe storm. I think there's enough evidence here on the reflectivity side that there could be another quick spin-up tornado coming on in. What's the Weather Service saying?
They're warning of 70 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts with that surge. Widespread, extensive recent tree damage in Bartlett. So northern DuPage County, just west of Roselle and Bloomingdale, moving toward Bloomingdale. 70 to 75 mile an hour winds possible there.
So there you see it. And on top of that, the potential for quarters, $50, maybe as big as a golf ball size hail, according to our Doppler radar. So this is the big supercell, the big one that we're watching right now. And to get your bearings straight, here's downtown Chicago. This is a look at northern DuPage County, northwestern areas of Cook County. And it's this monster of a thunderstorm that has had the history of producing tornado warnings. Right now, you see it flashing still. That's the active tornado warning. And we're getting ready to see what the Weather Service meteorologists decide to do. They extend this. I think there's enough evidence, at least on the reflectivity side, that we still have a notching there, a hook there. We're not seeing tight rotation at the moment.
Looks like we got an expiration about 2 minutes ago.
Okay. All right. So tornado warning. We take down the banner, guys. Tornado warning now canceled for Cook County. That's good news. That being said, the severe weather threat is still there. Bartlett and then moving to Roselle, potential for 60, 65, 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts. So there you see the new scan coming in, and we'll zoom in and we'll show you a few more. Go ahead, David.
I misspoke. The chat was labeled confusing in a confusing manner. The tornado warning will expire at 6:45. I apologize. In effect for 1 more minute.
You're only off 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Forgive me.
Unacceptable. Here's a look at Kinneyville, and this is where we have some really intense winds coming in. Not tornadic winds, but straight line winds. Whew, there you go. Man, Weather Service called that. They said potentially 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts, and there's the new scan, 68 mile per hour wind gusts right now. This is not going to be too far from areas like Springfield Road. There's a look at Bloomingdale. So this is the wide little spread area of damaging winds moving in right now. Anything 60 plus, going to bring down tree limbs. As you get closer to 70, could bring down trees. So we're going to have power outages. This is in DuPage County. It's headed to Cook County. And you want to charge your phone, charge your tablet, get ready for a damaging wind, pockets of damaging wind with this particular thunderstorm due in the city of Chicago here probably next 20 to 25 minutes. It may have slowed down just a bit, so probably closer to 7:15 to 7:20 for downtown. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, and this is going to be a big damaging wind threat, especially in the west suburbs, as you said. We're also got our eye here as we watch that last 1 minute of the tornado warning in Cook County. Can we go over to Weather 1? We've got our eye down in LaSalle County. Albert was just showing you. Looks like we just lost the tornado warning there in Cook County as it is 6:45 right now. Let me show you this real quick because it is possible we get another tornado warning
I think we are.
in LaSalle County shortly. This is for the storm that Albert was just showing you, and we don't have a tornado possible tag on this right now. That means this was just labeled as a severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service, not necessarily a tornado producer. But you can see that hook that Albert Ramon was just showing you. And if we go to the storm relative velocity, we've got some pretty good signs of rotation between Ottawa and Farm Ridge moving eastward at about 25 miles an hour. So the good news here, we've lost our tornado warnings, no tornado warnings in effect at this time, but we do have a significant damaging wind threat in DuPage County and a couple more storms in LaSalle County and just west of DeKalb that we will continue to watch this evening. We do want to send it briefly to Joe and Erica, believe, to wrap us up this evening. Let's go to Joe and Erica, and we'll keep watching things here in the Weather Center.
Okay, David, Albert, thank you for your continuing coverage on this.
Yeah, and we will continue to monitor these storms. We've heard about these damaging winds. We know there's hail. We know there's damage in Bartlett already. Our crews are out trying to track down any damage. But definitely be sure to keep it right here because we will break into coverage certainly as necessary.
Yeah, we will also have updates on our stream, the CBS News Chicago stream. Otherwise, we'll see you back here for the CBS News Chicago at 10. For now, we return you to regular programming.
This has been a special weather alert from the CBS News Chicago First Alert Weather Team.
Imagine your bathroom going from outdated to outstanding. Trust Bath Planet, Chicagoland's affordable bath solution. Get your dream bath installed